Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to the 88th edition of the Take One Podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones here, and we got quite a few things to talk about. I'm trying to do something a little different. Like I told y'all, I was going to try and incorporate a lot of music talk within here. So I got a bit of music talk up in here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the topics of the day. So I wanted to start off this episode with talking about the first image we have of Chucky from the Child's Play reboot that's in development at this moment. And it's okay. So the picture is just basically half of Chucky's face. He's kind of smiling. The right side is covered up by a knife, and it's like a close up. It's really nothing too significant about it. I like it. It's simple, whatever. We all know what Chucky is about, so this kind of shows like a darker kind of feel for it. Hopefully they don't go into the zany, loony Chucky and all this stuff that they didn't do with the other one, with the other movies later on, I should say. But basically, it was just really a simple picture. And it kind of says a lot. But who knows? They might go back in the adventure. They might go back in the same realm as the other films were. And it's like there's a good balance. When you're doing a movie like that, you can put humor into it as well as you can put that horror element. And make the horror element very strong without taking it away by putting that humor in there. So it's got to be a good balance. And it's like they haven't really been able to do that with the last Chucky films. Bride of Chucky, yeah, that went toward more of the comedy aspect of it. I guess you could say it's a horror comedy. But I think in my eyes, as well as a lot of people's eyes, is that's kind of like a guilty pleasure. You can watch that movie and get some enjoyment out of it. It's one of those movies that it's bad, but it's good. It's so bad that it's good or whatever. But when you go on from just see the Chucky was just ridiculous, that one they could have did without. Curse of Chucky, they tried to go back to the horror roots. I like that a little bit. I see where they were going, but then they completely fell off with Code of Chucky. It was just not a good thing. But hopefully within this new film, they can keep the essence of what made the original Child's Play good. Throw in some humorous parts. Make Chucky, he's a smart aleck type, killer or whatever, just like a Freddy Krueger. But just don't let it get too ridiculous. That's all I ask. But as far as the picture, like I said, I like it. It's very simple. It doesn't show too much. We don't get too much information from this reboot, but I like it. Hey, if they could go up from this point on, I'll be happy. So let's go on to the next thing, and I don't know why I keep forgetting this. This is all movie news right now, But yeah, so it had been announced some days ago that Space Jam 2 is kind of in production, because it's not really in production. So, as we all know, it's been actually just stated for a while that LeBron James is interested in being in, Space Jam 2, and that he was going to be in there. And so, it finally looks like everything is starting to align, because we got LeBron James still a part of it. He still wants this project to be done. He has other projects, but this is one of those more high-profile type projects that he's a part of. And so now we found out that Ryan Coogler is attached as a producer, not a director. And basically, it's starting to look like it's starting to build up to something. It's not really a full synopsis of what the movie is about, but there is a lot to go by. There's a Twitter picture that was released where it has the locker room, and then it has a little, the cubby areas or whatever. That's what I can come up with, the name, whatever. I don't know what you call it. But it has the names of B Bunny and L James, and then you have Terrence Nick, how do you pronounce it? Nance, and then you have Ryan Coogler. But it has, of course, just the first initial and then the last name, which is basically teasing it. So that lets me know, just me personally, that this is starting to become true, as well as everybody else. So we got that Twitter picture, and then also Terrence Nietzsche, like I said, he is director of the movie. Not say Nietzsche, Terrence Nance. He is the director of the film, and he is attached to the HBO movie called Random Acts of Flyness. I've never heard of it, but that's what he has worked on. And it's supposed to go in production next year, so we'll see. By then, they'll more than likely have a writer. They'll have other cast members, because as of right now, they don't have any other NBA characters or NBA players that are attached to this. Ray Allen came out recently and said something about who should be up in there, but that's just his opinion. But we don't know who all else is considered to be attached. There's a lot of names you can pick from the NBA that would more than likely be a part of this. So, I mean, we'll see. Warner Brothers will distribute it. Will be in charge of distribution of it and whatnot. And like I said, it's set to start shooting in 2019, which is next year, and to be released sometime in 2020. So it's going to be a while, but it doesn't really. It's a lot of things that we don't know too much about. I mean, I stated a lot of things, but we don't know if it's going to be exactly like the first Space Jam, where you have drawn characters, 2D type characters or whatever, or is it going to go into the Pixar type 3D animated characters or whatnot? I personally think that they should go for the 3D animated characters. It's a new day, new age, and then they can break the fourth wall and be like, oh, well, that old look was played out. We wanted to go with a new look. That's my Looney Tunes voice. But anyway, they can always do that. So I think that they should go with the 3D animation, as well as the synopsis. I mean, there's a lot of ways that they can go with it. They don't have to follow the same formula. They can have it to where the Monstars are still a part of the Looney Tunes world. And then ever since Michael Jordan left their, kind of universe, that it, like, basically basketball has became bigger than what it is on Earth. It even became a galactic type thing with different planets and different, just different planets and galaxies all play basketball against each other and everything like that, and maybe put some high stakes on there to where they have to go and get Michael Jordan. And I think they just should put Michael Jordan in here for a cameo. They're going to try and get Michael Jordan, but he's retired. He can't play no more, this and that. So they start hearing about LeBron James, and that's how he gets involved. And then they start getting all these other people, the other players or whatever, and then they go and do what they need to do. So I think that that's how it should go. Maybe it's something similar. I don't know. That's just something off the top of my head. But if they do that or something similar, it may end up turning out to be a good film. I don't know. Maybe LeBron James will do better than Michael Jordan did in his role. I don't know. Maybe you get maybe you get more, better performances from these basketball players than we did from Michael Jordan. No matter how much people say, oh, I love Space Jam, it's like, yeah, you gotta admit, that was kind of it was a bad movie, but it's nostalgia, so whatever. A lot of people give it a pass. But yeah, I mean, that's really all the news that's on it lately, and I don't know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with it. So let's go ahead and move on to trailer reviews, because 2 trailers have dropped lately, and I am here to talk about it. Now let's start off with Netflix's new series coming out October 12th. The Haunting of Hill House. Which, as you know, or if you don't know, it is a remake of a black and white film of the same title, as well as somewhat same title of a film that came out, I think this is the 90s or whatever, with Catherine Zeta-Jones, Liam Neeson, and this, I guess you could say, is the second remake of it. And it looks like they're going a totally different direction. They're keeping the premise of course, Hill House being haunted, hence the title, The Haunting of Hill House. But they're going a different route. As before, it was a scientist doing experiments or whatever. I think you can label it as that. And they bring participants in to evaluate them in their, days spent at the mansion and documenting everything. And this one just seems more like it's revolving around a family that had a kind of rough growing up in this mansion, or, I guess you could call it a mansion. It looked like a mansion. So in this mansion and how it affects them. So by the trailer, it looks like a psychological thriller. And just in my experiences, I don't really fare well with psychological thrillers. Like, they're not, I don't know, I don't find them scary, especially if they're a horror film and they're psychological. It's just, I don't know, I just don't really like movies like that. I just find them kind of boring. I'm guessing, like, a lot of times, if it's like real life or something like that, like, that's a scary thing to know that if I'm sitting here and I'm seeing somebody walking toward me and I'm just hallucinating, and no one else can see and they think I'm crazy. I mean, that could be a scary situation. Maybe that's what people do, but as it is, it looks like it's going to be kind of freaky. It's going to look like I said, it's going to be a psychological thriller, but it looks like it's going to go the route of American Horror Story, where it's going to have some weird visuals and things happen up in there that's kind of like don't make any sense, but it's kind of weird and blah blah. But I don't know, I may end up checking it out. I haven't had too much time to really sit down and watch a show, even if I can binge it. I haven't had time to watch that. Like, just in perspective, I watch wrestling. For about over a month, almost going on 2 months, I have not really sat down and even watched a full episode of Raw. Maybe within the past month and a half, probably watched 2 episodes of Raw, in its entirety. Other than that, like, I just don't have the time, and it's just, yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch it when it comes out, because I still haven't seen Iron Fist nor Luke Cage season 2. I've watched some of it, but I haven't done it. But I'm just putting out the shows that I really do care about watching. I haven't had the time to watch them. So, but I don't know. It looks like it's gonna be pretty decent. It really looks like it. But also, let's go ahead and get to the other trailer that dropped, which is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindlewald. And I'm not really a big Harry Potter fan, as I've said before, but this trailer looks pretty damn awesome. I'm pretty sure I've seen every single Harry Potter movie. I may not have seen one, but like I said, those really don't stand out to me. I've seen they kind of bunched together, so it's like, okay. Don't crucify me. I'm just not a big fan of Harry Potter, but I've seen Fantastic Beasts, the first one, and I loved it. I thought it was pretty good. I really did like it. And this one looks like it's going to be better. I don't know. I like Eddie Redmayne's portrayal of Newt Scamander, which is a weird ass name. But I like his portrayal of him. Like, I don't know. I just like it. It's just something inviting about his character. But just, yeah, like the imagery, how it just looks, and just the feel of the trailer. It starts off, the trailer starts off with a bit of humor. So there's going to be humor throughout this whole thing. You got Jude Law up in this film, and he is a good actor. I enjoy him in a lot of the films that I've seen him up in. He's going to be in the new Captain Marvel film. So I'm excited to see him in that film, and I'm excited to see him in this film. I just hope that there is a lot of him in this movie, because he seems like he has a lot to offer as far as just being a likable character with a lot of charisma, as we've seen up in the past trailers. And I just want to see more of him, as well as Eddie Redmayne or whatever, Newt Scamander. I don't know, like I just really want to see this. I really do. Like I said, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but this does look like it's gonna be a good movie. As well as you see Johnny Depp. I talked to my son's mother about the first, not in depth or whatever, but we had talked real briefly about it. It was like a while ago. She didn't, as much as she loved Johnny Depp, she didn't even recognize him at the end of the first Fantastic Beasts. I had to be like, yeah, that was Johnny Depp. She was like, oh, and she loves him. And so I see that they're having a lot of Johnny Depp in this movie. So I don't have a problem with that. I'm really excited. This trailer really put me on the path to like, I gotta go see this movie. So, hey, I'm gonna go check it out. And I'm gonna see what it's what. And so that ends, trailer reviews. Let's go ahead and jump right into In Music. The segment In Music. So yeah, so it's only really one thing that I have to talk about. It's not any, it's something that is connected to music. So I felt like it was a bit of news that needed to be put out there. So Spotify had put out I wouldn't even say it's a new plan, but they're testing out something. So when you have to put music on Spotify, or at least before, you basically, or I guess you could say now, but when you put music on Spotify, you have to do it through a label or some type of company. Or if you're trying to do it independently, you have to do it through a third party and, try and go through all these steps. Now they're trying to beta test this thing to where independent artists can upload their own music without the middleman, without the third party. They don't need no label or anything else. They can upload it straight directly to Spotify. And they can get all that stuff coming in from it. So basically, it's a new feature, and it's only available to certain artists. I guess you have to have a certain criteria, but it's not to everybody yet. It's just to by invitation only. So only a lot. I guess depending on what the criteria is, you probably got an invite saying that you can do this, you can do that, blah blah blah, and all that. So that's actually pretty decent. They said they wanted to do this. They wanted to test it on independent artists that they've invited before they release it to the public, so that they can get a grasp on how to work it. Because right now they don't really have too much of. They have an idea, but they don't know. They want to kind of like, just like I said, test it out before, so they won't have any bugs. So everything will be in line by the time it goes out to being public. To whoever. And to me, I mean, that's cool. That's cool. As long as they get all the bugs and everything that they need to get fixed before they roll it out to everybody, I think that'll be better for everybody. I mean, if you're an independent artist and you're not invited to, test this new feature, of course, you're like, damn, I want to do this. I want to put my music out and all this stuff. But, you have to wait. So it's not really, they didn't really come out and say how long it will be that they will test this out, and maybe when can we expect it to go out into the public. But they're going to start testing it out, and they've been doing it. So hopefully it's going to be sometime by the end of this year or sometime at the beginning of next year. So yeah. What else? Yeah, and I think it's more than likely going to be like, it's a free service. Because before you had to pay a fee and all that stuff. So it's going to be a free service. You get to view all your data from like just the listeners and what they like, the analytics of it. You get to, view all of that and control it. You get to do customizations of everything. And it's actually a pretty decent, yeah. And also they're basically doing like, if you're going to have a release date, they want you to release 5 days, at least 5 days in advance before the release date, just so they can prevent copyrights and stuff like that. If you're using a sample or a song that's copyrighted by somebody else, make sure that they get all, and just check out everything before they put it on the system. What else after that? You get 50% of Spotify's net revenue. You get monthly royalty checks from your music. And that's really all that comes about it. I mean, to me, it sounds pretty cool. If you're an independent artist and you don't want to go through all the other stuff, like I don't know how many, because I know it's a lot of independent artists that didn't did it and had to pay the fee and all this stuff. And it like, just looking at the process, it seemed like there's a lot that goes into it, and it's like you don't want to deal with that. Now it's making it easier, and so I don't know. They're trying to, because SoundCloud has done this, where you can upload your music directly and stuff. But the only thing about Spotify and what they do, what SoundCloud doesn't do, which probably SoundCloud is gonna probably put this tool in to where you can do it, is that Spotify will allow you to upload your songs and hold them until a certain release date. So it's not like once you upload it, it has to go straight on right away. They'll give you time. Kind of like how YouTube does with their thing. If anybody has made videos on YouTube and, maybe you want to release it the next week or, a couple days later or something like that, they'll give you a choice of, if you want to keep it private until you release it. The only thing is like you have to put it public yourself. So you don't have I want to release it on next Thursday at 7 p.m. I wish that they did have something like that, because I feel like that would probably be really cool. But maybe Spotify is going to have something like that. I don't know, because I don't do that. I'm not, one of the artists they called and, not called, but invited and all that stuff, because, it is what it is. But I don't know. It seems pretty cool. So I know a lot of people probably is excited from hearing this. So let's go ahead and jump right into the last segment of this podcast, which is, I don't know, the working title is the Billboard Top List. So we're going to start off with, I'm basically just going to give you guys what the top 10 songs on the Billboard is and the top 10 albums of the Billboard. So starting off with the songs, we have Maroon 5 with Girl Like You, featuring Cardi B. Number 2 is Drake and My Feelings. Number 3, Eminem, Kill Shot. Number 4 is Juice WRLD, Lucid Dreams. Number 5, Post Malone, Better Now. Number 6, Cardi B, I Like It. Number 7, Kanye West, I Love It. I just liked how both of them were together like that on the list. And then we had number 8, 6ix9ine with Fifi. Number 9, Travis Scott, Sicko Mode. And number 10, 5 Seconds of Summer, Young Blood. Which, summer is over, but nah, I'm just playing. But going over to the albums, the top 10 albums, we have Carrie Underwood at number 1 with Cry Pretty. I think it's the debut of her album, so yeah, it hit straight to number 1. Number 2, Eminem, Kamikaze. Number 3 is the person name I thought you pronounced it like 6LACK, but it's pronounced Black, with his album East Atlanta Love Letter. Number 4 is Drake with Scorpion. Number 5, Travis Scott with Astroworld. Number 6, Post Malone with Beer Bongs and Bentleys. Ariana Grande with Sweetener. Paul McCartney with East Station. Nicki Minaj with Queen. And then number 10 is Juice WRLD, Goodbye and Good Riddance. So those are your top 10 Billboarding songs and albums. I'm going to be trying to do that every week, so I'm more than likely going to do more than just one episode of the Take One podcast. I had thoughts about doing maybe a music podcast. I don't know, I'm just now starting to really getting back into the music world and everything else, and just keeping up with the music news and everything. So we'll see, maybe later on, but I'm going to probably be doing multiple Take One podcasts a week. It's going to be a lot of work, but somebody's got to do it. I wish somebody else would, because, yeah. But anyway, that wraps up this edition of the Take One podcast. And I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. And I will catch you guys on episode 89. So, until then, Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.